Greenwood Stocks here with another market recap. With Intrinsic, we have been away for a bit, focusing on getting systems and optimizing and getting back in the swing of things. Lately, it's been all about options. So just kind of want to dive into some plays that we looked at, some plays for tomorrow, philosophy, and exactly what you can expect from this market, and even some tips on how to make your trading better. So right off the bat, I want to talk about CRVS. This has been one of the biggest runners, and I noticed this pattern. Number one, the two things I put together, I'm going to give y'all some information that I'll probably have coming up on a new product, but the bullish breaking pattern, and then also 3 green candlesticks. So I've been focusing on 3 green candlesticks. They hardly ever let me down. I believe I spoke before with GameStop the last time that we traded GameStop, and the green candlesticks in sequence. So here we go, a series of green candlesticks holding support at 120, and then boom, you got an explosion. Same thing the next time you see 3 green candlesticks here, starting at 160. Okay, and then you get another explosion all the way up to 330. So again, same thing, CRVS. We always talk about this pattern. Once we see a long wick and then we see a green bar over the length of that long wick, that is two things. That's a bullish candlestick pattern. Number 3, that is probably going to be a breakout level, because we've tried to go past this level before and we weren't able to. So got in today on CRVS. Once we seen that it was gaining some momentum and some volume, even though the volume was kind of light, we kind of want to see that, because if it's moving up on low volume, what do you think is going to happen when it moves up on high, when it gets lots of volume? So you see just gradual volume building, and then boom, you get volume, a huge volume burst, a volume spike, and it kept spiking throughout the day. So again, no news really. We were looking for news, but basically it's just sentiment. They talk about buyouts. They talk about certain oncology, certain treatments and things like that, that this category, that Corvus fits into. So that was a big play of the day. We were up around 400% on calls at one point. So plan for the gap up tomorrow. Hopefully we can get some momentum into the open tomorrow so that we can continue on these green candlesticks. A few more stocks that we were looking at are from the they're from the SPAC sector, the mergers, acquisitions. This time around, it's not really particularly SPACs. SPAC is a company that's a shell that's meant to merge and acquire. These are more so companies that are just merging within a certain sector. So with the SPACs is just overall. Now, these companies, HLBZ, we saw what happened today with the deal with Amazon. There's all kinds of deals being made, and so it's making this sector run like a wild person. So of course, got big news from $14 all the way to 41. Really important that you look at past movements to determine future movements. HLBZ, we see that it sells off big time whenever it does run. So trade accordingly. You see, another spike a couple of days ago, and then a complete consolidation all the way back into another spike. So OPAD was another one. Again, we're looking at a pattern. I used to call this the N pattern because it shapes like an N. These stocks, they'll pop, they'll pull all the way back, and then they'll pop again. So whenever you see this pattern developing, once it pulls back, you can be confident that there's going to be another pop. So again, here's the N. So we're on the second part of the N. Now we're looking for the completion of this N pattern. Okay, so we're looking for this stock to hopefully retest the new highs and go back into the 20s. Okay. There's another stock, ARQQ. Friend Antonio Johnson brought this to mine. Once again, these stocks are popping big time, pulling back. Okay. They consolidate and then they break up again. So you see the expanding volume. Anytime you see a stock holding certain levels and there's no volume, you can get in, because once volume does pick up, if it picks up, then you know you'll have a runner. So what else today? NNVC, you know that this could be big. They're talking about a cure and a treatment for the pandemic. And so when I read this, I thought it could be a game changer. There were a lot of pumps, a lot of discords and people pumping this stock. So that's why you got the big spike in the sell-off. But again, it could be a future runner. NURO looks like it was getting back in play. And this is a low volume move. So again, it's never a bad idea to play call. This doesn't have any calls, but once you see this pattern, something is holding support and you know that it has potential to run again, then it's never a bad idea to get in and just have a tight stop, because it shouldn't go below support anyway. And then, you know, hopefully you'll get a nice run. After hours action, MRIN. Once again, I mean, you see what this stock did way back in June. Okay. This stock has the potential to always run because it's a software stock and it has a history of getting big volume, consolidating and running back up. So once again, from $3 all the way to 27, now you got a spike, and it was a low. Again, it was semi low volume. After hours, they announced a deal with Google, a revenue sharing agreement deal with Google. So MRIN software shares are trading higher after the company announced a revenue share agreement with Google. So anything to do with Google or Amazon is normally going to send the stock. Okay. We talk about catalyst, the quality of the catalyst. How do you determine catalyst? Well, you can get our product. We talk about catalyst, a 13D, a letter of intent, a merger, an acquisition, phase 2 news, phase 3, FDA news. All of these are quality catalysts. So if you pay attention, you can get the news that you can use in order to predict a big movement. Okay. And a couple more we have. Just trying to go through these as fast as I can. EDAP. Was it EDAP? Which stock was that we looked at yesterday?
I want to say EDSN.
EDSN. EDSA.
EDSA, yeah.
Okay. EDSA. So again, I was going to make a video, but I'll just incorporate that into this video. So VWAP is normally it's volume weighted average price. Okay. So once support builds below these moving averages, we'll just say this is VWAP, even though it's not, this blue line. Once support is building below this, it's very important that you understand when you get volume, number one, this is going to be another secret that I'm going to give you just for charity. Once you get as much volume from the pre-market than you did the complete day before, that's a good recipe for a continued sustained move. Okay. So we see we got $287,000 volume on one pop. Okay. So let's see what volume it did the complete day before. So the day before it did 90,000. Yesterday, pre-market, it did 3 times almost what it did the previous day before. Okay. So when you see that, you know that you can be in for a big run if it can hold when the market opens. So a lot of times they run pre-market and die down. But again, if you can find some kind of support, some kind of moving average, some kind of level that it holds below the moving average, as long as you can, I always say don't get stopped out on one candlestick. That means if it goes to a stop, if you have a mental stop, if it gets on the last candlestick wait to see if it bounces. Okay. Once it bounces, then you can buy and be confident. So this may support right below VWAP. Okay. And so it established support. Once it establishes support and doesn't fall off anymore, then you can trade with confidence and be confident that this stock has a lot of room left to run. Plus the volume picked up. What do we say? Where volume goes, the price goes. So this basically was a stock. You're getting 500,000 shares every 5 minutes. Okay. Now it goes to 3 million shares every 5 minutes, 4 million shares on a 5-minute candlestick. So you have to see this increase in volume has to come at some point if the move is going to be sustained. But again, take profits, selling the strength, because they will dump on you. This market is a market where they are selling news, they're selling any kind of pops, they're shorting pumps, they're doing all kinds of things. So it's starting to bounce to where we see these sustained moves, these multi-day runners like CRVS. But for the most part, be sure you're taking profits, at least set a stop. So when it pulls back, you can lock in profits. You got anything to add to that?
Yeah, and I was gonna say, one of my strategies that's been working perfect in these current market conditions, especially when I played EDSA, is I always look if it's a pre-market runner with the catalyst, with expanding volume. It's a saying you wanna buy into weakness and sell in the strength. So my thing is you always want to try to be a buyer on the first and second pullback. Sometimes it can be tricky, but you always want as soon as you can see where some support is being established, that's when you want to start scaling in, because that's when you're going to get the bounce. And if the news has any kind of validity, the stock is going to bounce and it's going to run at some point during the day. Just like Jay's point out, you just got to take profits when you need to, but you always want to be a buyer. You want to be a buyer when people are selling, but you just got to make sure that the trend is going to reverse. So you at least want one candlestick confirmation that the trend is reversed, and if so, I mean, you're in the money. You're going to be making money pretty much immediately.
Right. So, I mean, it's hard. Our human nature is just to buy when it's going up and sell when it's going down. You have to reverse that when it comes to stock market. You have to reverse that even when it comes to people, different scenarios in life in general. You just have to be counterintuitive, because, if everything was logical and straightforward, then, we'd all be rich. So, or a lot of people would be rich. So, we're looking at a few OTC stocks that had ran. This stock, I believe, is up 2,400%. Of course, we talked about the market and how most of these stocks were going away. Now we're getting some strength back into the market, so into the OTC. So again, I always look at breakout levels. So number one, what is a breakout level? A breakout level long term is where it's a level of the stock could not previously get above, and now it can. Okay, so again, you want to look at these levels of resistance and support, but this is basically a lesson that encompasses a lot of different lessons and principles. Look at levels where the stock has not been able to previously go above. Once it does, then you can feel confident that since it has not been able to break this level, it breaks it with volume. So 16 cents, you can get in and feel confident and ride and get 300% return. So again, it popped. We always talk about getting in on the first big volume day. You get in 68 million shares, you get in here, and you pretty much don't have anything to worry about ever. I mean, we see a pretty big spike from 9 cents to 12 cents, and then a pullback to 9 cents again. But you're never really risking too much. Of course, this stock has the potential to completely break down, but when it doesn't, again, you can sell here, you can buy back again here, and then another breakout level. Once it breaks its 12 cents, because it hit 12 cents a few times, several times actually. So when it finally breaks, you can have confidence that the move is for real at that point. So
Yeah, and one point I can make too is and especially in the current market conditions, you got to be fluid. If you like a play, let's say if you like this play for a longer term swing, you have to be in the mindset to be able to sell in the strength and buy back into weakness until it finally breaks out. Because it could be 3 or 4 opportunities where you could have made 3 or 4 different profitable trades and then loaded back up for the major breakout. Some people, I mean, and of course, this is more of my style, but some people would rather just hold and watch their account go up hundreds of thousands of dollars in the next couple of days when they could have been selling in the string, locking in your profits, and then because they're pulling back, then literally buy all your shares back plus some with the profit you made on support, and then when it finally does break and you get that 200, 300, 400, 1,000% run, you've made money the whole time instead of just sitting there watching your account go up and down until it finally breaks, because there's no guarantee that it's gonna break, because at the end of the day we're just playing a probabilities game anyway. So that's just just a different mindset and kind of how I view the market and view my trades.
Yes, I mean everybody's trades are going to be different. Everybody is your risk tolerance, your personality. Some are day trading, some are swing trading. So some people like to scale in. I don't. Some people like to scalp, take profits. I do some of that, but it's a mixture when it comes to stock by stock. So be sure you're trading what you feel comfortable with, what you like to trade, because everybody different. No matter who you're looking at, be sure that you take what you can get from different successful methods and incorporate into what you like to do. So the last one, RWLK, we were looking at this. Shout out to Red Hand Trades, Trading Against the Machine, aka Scam Master. We looked at this again. Once you see more volume than in pre-market than you did the previous trading day, you can normally feel confident that this is going to be a nice move. So again, I always say there's always a pop before a big move, and we got that pop. So you see this pop right now, all of a sudden it starts getting volume and pulls back. So consolidated all day yesterday. So somebody knew something big was coming, and yeah, they made a lot of money. But again, you want to buy, you don't want to buy at the top, you want to buy at the bottom. You want to buy the pullback. So again, once this made some support, we got in around 160, I believe, 170 or so. I think that's when we got in. Either way, by the time I bought calls, it was pulling back a little bit and then it just ran up. So the news or the catalyst, there wasn't any. So these can be lots of different, there can be lots of different reasons. When a stock doesn't get news and it starts to run, some of these can be some of the best plays because it's all anticipated. Nobody can point to one thing as to why they need to sell. So until people know more, they just buy and buy and buy because you don't know if there's a buyout coming. You don't know if there's news that you don't know about. People are just buying the stock because it's in a certain sector, or they see a trend and volume flowing into the stock. So it's monkey see, monkey do. So we're looking at that. We're looking at CRVS, looking at possibly gap up. TMC, we're looking at these mergers, SPACs, acquisitions. This is just a beautiful setup here. So definitely going to be watching this. I will possibly be getting options here. Again, I've pretty much been playing options only exclusively because that's just what I'm doing right now. And if TMC can heat up, you can see a really big move because there's no reason why the stock should be as low as it is. So that's all I got. There was one more stock as well. It was PG. Let me find out. Let me find the stock. Sorry, I should probably no PTGX. PTGX is a play that I've been looking at. I've been stalking it. It's going to gap up tomorrow because it closed at 16. So again, anytime a stock is down above 70%, I'm going to take a look and try to get into it. We got the first green candlestick. I got in, I believe, around $14. Once it shows some good signs of reversal, and now it's 16. So again, I got $20 calls. It looks like we can get there. So we will see if we make it. Greenwood Stocks want you to be informed, educated. Make sure you are staying green, not holding bags, taking profits, locking in profits, setting stops. Be a good fundamental trader, be consistent, and always, always, always have a plan. You got anything else?
Yeah, all I could say is have a plan and be disciplined. Those are two of the main ingredients to have a successful trading career. Have a plan, execute it, and just be disciplined in general, and everything will work itself out.
All right, we are signing off. Y'all have a good one. God bless.